Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I'm excited to be bringing you, a little bit later than I would have liked, my Week 6 battle from the Pokemon Premier League. Yes, indeed. Now, as you may be aware, this week is a huge one, not only in terms of how much we need to win, but also in terms of my opponent. This week, we face off against none other than my man Schady. One of my very good friends, of course, a very talented battler. His links will be down in the description below. Make sure you head down there and check him out. He is a fantastic guy. Always an exciting match when we play against him. Now, this is must-win stuff for the both of us. You know, I'm 1-4, so I desperately need a win to survive. Schady, he's 4-1, and he desperately needs a win to keep up with Sam, who is absolutely killing it this season and doesn't look like losing anytime soon. So, yeah. If you missed my team builder, by the way, the link to that will be down in the description as well. If you want to see my thought process going into this game, exactly who I bought, and the sort of in-depth details of the spreads and the movesets, you can check that video out. But to very briefly go over what we've got, we have an Eviolite offensive Electabuzz. We've got a bulky agility Tornadus Incarnate. We have that powerful Specs Knockdown. Specially defensive Armaldo with Spin and Rocks. We've got a calm-minding defensive Resto Chesto Sylveon and Scarfed Blaziken. Now, Shady's team. As you can see from the screen, he has bought from left to right Druddigon, Thunderous Therian, Crobat, the Manaphy, P2 and the Megalopony. Exactly what I thought he would bring, which is good. Obviously I don't know the sets going into this, but that's exactly the team I thought he would bring. So I'm fairly happy with that. Looking at his team, you know, Electabuzz is looking to be my lead here. I suffer nothing from just going for a Volt Switch first turn. If I can, if he brings in the Thunderous, you know what, so be it. But yeah, I'm pretty much not going to have too much more preamble here. It's must-win stuff. We're going to lead with Electabuzz. So with absolutely no ado whatsoever, let's get right into the battle and see how things played out. So, here we go. For some reason Schady is called Stella. He's issuing his challenge. I'm going to lead off with my Electabuzz, and he is going to lead off with his Megalopony. This is a great lead for me. He's not going to want to risk the static going for a fake out first turn, so I stop him Mega Evolving. He's going to go into Eden, that is his Thunderous. As I said, I'm just going to go for the Volt Switch. He gets a free switch, and so be it. Now here, he is going to make a very nice play. He's going to withdraw straight up to scout to see whether I'm choiced or not. And he's going to go into Duct Tape his P2. And he shows downloads, and he gets the attack boost. And I'm like, haha, got him. I go for Hidden Power. So now he knows I'm not choiced, so he's going to assume, I guess, that I am Eviolite. I get a crit, it does laughable damage. Here, I'm just going to drop a Toxic on him, just to try and wear him down as much as possible, as quickly as possible. And he is in fact going to do exactly the same thing back to me. So we trade Toxics here, but I'm kind of hit and run kind of guy, whereas he's a P2. So this affects me a little bit less than it affects him. So yeah, I'm absolutely perfectly happy with that. I can be Volt Switching around as much as possible. He's a P2, he wants to stick around. So I'm going to Volt Switch here. I don't think he's going back into his Thunderous. It's going to do, again, laughable damage to this guy. You know, P2 is as P2 does. And I'm going to go into my Armaldo just to try and take any hit that I can. And he goes for Return, which really confused me. I did not know what was going on here. Turns out that was kind of his answer to my specially defensive mons like Sylveon and potential Latias. So Toxic is going to be wearing him down fairly quickly. This is going to be my sort of opportunity to get up my Stealth Rock. I'm not going for Brick Break because it's not going to do anything to him. He's going to switch out into his Manaphy, the Tiny Blue, as I do get up my Rocks. Now, I don't know what this Manaphy is going to do. I'm expecting Tail Glow, but I don't know what it's going to do here. He doesn't show leftovers, obviously, because he's at full health. But I'm pretty sure I can take any one hit from this. So I'm going to stay in. And he goes for Scald, as I believe I'm just going to go for a Rock Slide. Now, the reason I did stay in, I know Schady was kind of confused. I didn't have a switch into an offensive one, but I have checks to any kind of one he wants to bring. Which is why I stayed in. I didn't have a switch, but I wanted to kind of scout what he was going to do. So, he shows leftovers. He's showing himself to be much more of a bulky set than I expected he would bring. So, I don't want to stay in here, but now that I know that he is not a fully offensive Tail Glow one, or at least I'm assuming, You know, I can go into Electabuzz fairly safely. I can't get burnt, not that it would matter. He's going to go for a Scald, and, you know, it's not really going to be doing all that much to me. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this situation. Toxic, that's going to be wearing me down a little bit too much for my liking, so I'm going to want to Volt Switch out as soon as possible. He is in fact going to make the switch and go into a kind of safe middle in the form of Druddigon right here, which I kind of expected he would do. I didn't think he'd go back into the Thundurus straight away. I thought he'd go into his safe middle. So I in fact go for Toxic right about now, which is a bit of a ballsy play because he could be Rest Rain Dance. But I now get a Toxic onto the Druddigon, which is really nice. Now here, even though I packed the Hidden Power Ice, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself, I'm not going to go for it, because this guy could very well have Sucker Punch, and I need my Electabuzz to be, you know, sticking around. So I'm going to go into my Armaldo, try and take any one hit from this guy, as he in fact goes for Glare, a really ballsy play on his part, but I guess he knew I would be switching out because he knew I wouldn't want to stay in. So Armaldo is paralysed, which doesn't bother Armaldo too much. You know, I'm not speed invested, I'm not very quick, and he's being worn down fairly rapidly anyway. But I am going to stay in here. He's going to go for his Rocks right about now, which I'm okay with, you know. I'm just going to go for a Rock Slide and see exactly how much damage I can do to this Druddigon, which, as it turns out, is a decent little chunk. You know, I'm happy with that. I want to wear this thing down as much as possible. Hopefully to the point where I can take it out and get a spin-off at some point, which I believe is what I'm going to do this turn. He's going to go for Fire Punch. It's his best thing to hit me with, but even though I'm not Fizz Death, it's not going to do much, and I do just get off the Rapid Spin here. Get rid of those rocks very nicely. Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet, they're going to come into play and sort of wear me down a little bit more. But he's taking a fair amount of damage from the Toxic, which is racking up. Armaldo doing a pretty good job, to be honest, quite early game. So there goes the Toxic. He is no, he's not going to live. He's actually going to go down, which is nice. So a KO there, vicariously for my Electabuzz. So in is going to come Eden. That is his Thundurus. I don't really have a switch into this thing. So I am just going to leave in Armaldo here to kind of go down. But Armaldo's done a good job. He's allowed his Rocker to go down, and I've kept Rocks on his side and off mine. Here I go into Electabuzz, and I agonised over this play. I'm under the impression that he is Choice Scarfed. He's going to go into his P2, and I'm going to make the ballsy play and go for, as we'll see after he gets the download attack boost, Volt Switch. I make the ballsy play, I go for the Volt Switch. I was thinking he was Choice, so he was definitely going to switch out. I get another crit here, which is kind of nice. Anything really, any little helps when it comes to the P2. So here I see an opportunity to potentially try and set up here with Sylveon. So in I go to Sylveon, and I'm going to click Calm Mind. I'm fully under the impression that he is going to recover here. So I drop a Calm Mind, thinking this is grand, I can let him just die off to Toxic, hopefully. Or you know, go for a recover and then hit him with a Hyper Voice. But Shady's just going to stay in and go for the return and get a nice little chunk at +1 onto me, and he doesn't quite go down to Toxic. But at this point I'm just going to go for Psyshock. It is my best play. If you wanted to pull a cheeky switch into Crobat, it would hit it quite hard as well at +1. So down goes the P2, a big weight off my mind, and in comes the Crobat. Now, I'm fully Fizz Death. The only way he takes me out here is if he is adamant Choice Band with Cross Poison. He goes for the Cross Poison, and he just straight up OHKOs me. He gets a crit here. That crit didn't matter because he was in fact adamant Choice Band. So, you know, Crobat doing a nice bit of work for him, but I can go into Blaziken. Now, I know full well that this absolutely screams Choice Scarf, but I'm going to go for the Choice Scarf Stone Edge anyway, because Crobat's a threat. He goes into the Manaphy, he takes a little bit of Rocks damage, and as you can see, I am going to land my Stone Edge, and this does not a lot of damage. This is looking to be very bulky indeed. Which is fine, you know, I'm just going to switch out there. I don't want to take a Scald. I don't have too much that wants to take a Scald, but what I do have is my max HP Tornadus. So, in I bring it, he goes for Scald, it does not a huge amount of damage, at all, and I'm still looking in a really nice position. Now here, I'm fairly certain he does not want to stay in, and I'm thinking he's going to go into his Thundurus to try and outspeed me with a potential Scarf. So, in comes the Thundurus, and I, as you'll see after the rocks, go for agility. Now I outspeed everything, and we are ready to drop some big old modest life orb hits. I go for hidden power ice, and as you can see, it's going to land, and it's going to straight up take out the Thunderous. Now, this is a bigger play than it looks, because it turns out he was Assault Vest, and that was a high roll. And I'm going to explain at the end of the game why that might have come into play. So now in comes the Crobat, and I was wondering quite why, because I know I outspeed him. At this point he reveals Quick Attack, which I was not expecting at all, so very nice build on his part. I am going to be able to go for the hidden power, and you know, this is an offensive Crobat, this is going to take it out. So another KO for Tornadus, down goes Crobat. However, what this has done after the Life Orb recall is put me very much in range of his Mega Lopunny, and there is nothing I can do about him Mega Evolving right now. I don't have anything I want to switch into this guy. So as you can see, Schady is going to Mega Up with his Mega Lop, and, you know, obviously he's going to be packing some kind of priority, there's no way, there's no bones about it. He is going to go for the Fake Out, and as you can see, this is an Adamant Mega Lop. This is going to take me out from here. Nothing really else I can do about it. But what it means is I can go into my Blaziken right now. I am Scarfed, and he has 2 Mons left. And he's going to pull the switch. He realises that his Megalop is much more important to him than this Manaphy. So I am going to lock in here to High Jump Kick. Now, I know it's not going to OHKO from this range. I go for the High Jump Kick, but it is a clean 2-hit KO, even with those leftovers. So we're looking really good here. Blaziken is ready to go in. We go for the High Jump Kick, we land the second High Jump Kick, and that is going to be Manaphy down. So, it's a 3-on-1 situation here. It is Mega Lopunny versus the world. If he has Quick Attack, we could be in a bit of trouble here. So he goes into it, he takes Tiny Rocks damage, he is of course going to go for the Fake Out, and as you can see, does it do enough? No it doesn't, we have some decent HP investment. I'm going to go for the High Jump Kick, I'm going to land the High Jump Kick, and that is going to take down Mega Lopunny. Down it goes, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the game. We win! Yes, we do! We have won against Schady. What a game. Great game, Schady. Always a pleasure to play against him. That was huge. That was an enormous victory. Not only because we have taken out our rival for the 2nd season in a row, not only because we are the first and only person so far to have taken out Mega Lopunny in either division. You know, Shady's doing really well with Mega Lopunny up in D1. Monotui is absolutely killing it with Mega Lopunny in D2. I think he's played 6 games and got 18 KOs without dying yet. But yeah, a really good game. A bit annoyed that I didn't get to use Knockdown, but you know, the win is more important. Now there were some big moments in that game, and the one I really want to go into detail on is that that Thunderous versus Tornadus matchup. Now, as I said, I was expecting him to be a Scarfed set early on, but he wasn't. He was Assault Vest, and he had some fairly heavy HP investment. Now, that Hidden Power Ice was a high roll for me. Schady was very much expecting to live that hit and be able to take me out. Now, admittedly, I had a Scarf Blaziken waiting in the wings, who would have very easily been able to come in and revenge it. However, the fact that his Thunderous went down really did change the face of the game, because it affected what he went into next. It meant that he had to go into Crobat, and he had to sack it off just for damage so that Megalop could come in and revenge. You know, if he'd have been able to take me out, whilst I could have revenged him, he would have then had Crobat waiting, who could have come in, and between Crobat and Megalop and Manaphy, Blaziken would not have been able to lock into the right move to take out all of them. So that was fairly big, and the game could have really gone either way from there. Schady, in fact, I think had a better chance to win it if I didn't get the high roll. So that was fairly important. But we take the wins where we can get them. So yeah, this is it, guys. This is where we make our stand. This is where we get back on track. The season has not gone well, but this game is enormous for us. We're now sitting at 2 and 4. With a -1 differential. And yeah, this is where Parasect Germain make our Season 3 stand. This is where we start winning again. We don't have a choice. We have to keep winning. And we will keep winning. starting next week, where we take on Jack, aka the Donphanatic, the creator of the PPL, the man who brought us all together as a league, a guy who just continually improves, game on game, season on season. This guy gets better and better. He's got a very strong team with some very powerful threats, some stuff he knows how to use very well. It's gonna be difficult. He beat us last season, we beat him the season before, much like with Schady. And much like with Schady, we're gonna do it again this season. So keep your eyes peeled for that kind of content coming sometime either, well, it won't be later this week, it'll be sometime next week is when that'll be going up. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. I should also say thank you to Jack, by the way, for recording this game for me. His links will be down in the description below, along, of course, with links to the PPL Twitter and YouTube. To keep up to date with all things PPL, transfers, manager news, anything you need to know you can find in those links. You'll also, as I said at the beginning of the video, find Shady's links down there. I implore you to check them out. He's one of my very good friends. He's a very funny guy. His commentary is always on point. His team building is fantastic. So make sure you check him out. Links, of course, also down in the description. I forgot if I mentioned this in any of this week's videos or last week. Titos, the man who made the thumbnail templates for this season, a very talented GFX artist. Check him out. His links will be down there too. But yeah, I'm getting out of here. I rambled on for long enough. So thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Keep supporting Parasect Germain, guys. We're kinda sorta going for the top. We're really just going for survival. But as I've said, this is where we make our stand. We've got this win, an absolutely vital win, and we just have to keep going from here. And we will. We definitely will. But that's a story for another day. As I said, next week we play Jack. Keep your eyes peeled for that. But I am going to get out of here, so my final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I will see you next time. Laters.